Hello and welcome to the Halloween 2025 series. This episode covering Stan Winston's Pumpkinhead from 1988. A member suggestion. What kind of fiend would suggest this? Murgoot? What kind of deviant would put this before the channel members to select?
Oh, myself and Yiz actually recommends it too. She loves the American folk. It's supposedly set in Appalachia, but it's definitely filmed in California because of budget constraints. But they did a fair job between picking out well-wooded canyons and on studio stage. They did an okay job with it, but it's still definitely California.
Okay. Well, I'm both very glad that you and I do remember Years was a sort of big advocate of this movie. I'm very glad you got this through and that people voted for it. If you don't know, channel members voted for these. We had channel members propose a number of films we could cover, and then channel members voted on those films. I'm glad this won out, and I'm also extremely glad you're here because I would not be able to tell that it was California. And in fact, the question of sort of authenticity is one that I think kind of hung over this film as I was watching it this time. It's been a fair few years since I saw it.
They tried to be as authentic as possible. This is not actually based off of a book. It's based off of a poem. Which it's basically a silly little nursery rhyme about a demon of vengeance. I'm not familiar with Ed Justin, but I did look up the poem.
Yes.
And they chant the poem. The hillbilly children use it as a taunt for their younger sibling, but it's not really too clear in the way they're saying it because of...
I have a slightly cynical theory about that, Murgoot. This is from 1988. It's very much an industry insider film. What came out a few years earlier and was a mega success? Nightmare on Elm Street, 1985. I think they maybe thought, you know what was great in that movie? Kids doing a creepy little nursery rhyme, and they thought, bam, we'll pop that in. I don't blame them. I think it works well.
Yeah, it does. This is Stan Winston's passion project. It's his debut as a director. If anybody's not familiar with Stan Winston, he's a brilliant FX creator. And he was handed a story based off of this modern nursery rhyme. Absolutely loved it. Decided to do the FX and decided he was ready to make his directorial debut with it. And yeah, it's a B movie. It's kind of shaky. The acting isn't great all the way through, but you can definitely tell it's a passion project.
And he didn't do too much directing beyond this. There's one other film and then a few music videos, Michael Jackson's Ghosts, fans of that. But it's nice of him to try it. It very, very much is. And I think he's added a lot to it, quite an impressive amount. One thing that surprised me is how hands-off he was on the effects. Because you'd kind of think the effects guy... And folks, if you don't know this, forgive me for teaching you to suck eggs, as we say in England. But Stan Winston is one of the guys for special effects. Some of your Alien stuff, some of the work on The Thing, Jurassic Park, Stan Winston, okay? He is one of the biggest guys in that realm, sort of, alongside Tom Savini, the KNB crew, Rob Bottin, obviously, who he sort of worked alongside on The Thing. So impressive that he's come out of that world into directing. And I think the takeaway was that because he knew the effects so well, even though he was hands off on them. He knew how to design the film around them to get them very cheap. I was amazed. The budget on this is absolutely tiny. Can you believe it? 3 million.
What was the budget?
I saw 3 million.
And it made like
3.2.
3.2, and it made 4.2 on its release.
It's not bad. I mean, they called it a disappointment, but it has, as many cases, it's become a cult success. So, and a very deserved one, I will say, a very, very deserved one.
Well, the original reviews is it's a slasher, it's amateurish, it's a B movie. And then as time wore on, and the movie, the acting ain't great, like I said, but the story itself held up, and the FX held up, especially on the budget they were on.
100%. I think people were expecting your kind of classic slasher, and in a weird way, and I'm not the only one to see this, but this film is kind of like, it's kind of like a slasher from a different angle. Like normally, Ed Harley would be a character that these kids would be your main characters. These annoying city yuppies yuppie is a bit wrong, but well-to-do, that like these characters would be the stars, and they would be going to Camp Crystal Lake, and they would run across Ed Harley and
Hardy,
Harley, and get a bit spooked by him. He'd be the crazy Ralph or something. And it's so interesting that instead the film is in Ed's world, and these kids are the nuisance. It's kind of like this is preempting Tucker and Dale versus Evil by 30 years. These are basically, this is the cast of a Friday the 13th movie, gate crashing Pumpkinhead. It's really interesting if you see it like that.
It also it's been mentioned before, but it's quite obvious in the film that it's because of all the vengeance movies from Death Wish on up to even Puppet Master, the vengeance is a tool to be used and cheered on. And in this one, it's made very apparent 2/3 of the way through the movie that vengeance eats you up from inside, literally.
You're so right. It's a level of maturity that I think is quite telling, especially when this film is unambiguous about putting that in a Christian context. It doesn't quote scripture at you, it doesn't sort of slap you with the Gospels, but it's sort of bookended throughout by a question of that Christian context. From the very start, where you get someone being asked, "What kind of Christian are you?"
And holding up the cross to wake the girl up, and this will defend you. And then the old burned down church that's absolutely subverted.
Yes, I happen to have it right here. In fact, the cross is visible by its absence, you will notice. Dun dun dun, what do they mean by this? That basically this is all happening in an area without Christianity. The Christian ethos is not running the place. That's why the cross is gone. The church is a wreck.
And
it has to be sort of
used to beat down the wall by the villain, by the demon.
Exactly. And so in the end, it is, Ed does the Christian thing and forgives. It's subtly in there. Stan Winston, not Christian, he's Jewish background, but it's in there. It's nice. It's much more mature storytelling than I think maybe people expected from it. And that's why maybe it was not a hit at the time, but by goodness, you appreciate it as you go on. Silly question, Murgoot. I wanted to find out, is Stan Winston connected to Appalachia? Because I want to know sort of how authentic it is. Because I'm English. I just can't tell. And I looked him up, and he's from Virginia. Now,
well, if
is that in his favor?
from,
Does that count against him? Like, I know if he were from Connecticut, you'd be like, yeah, I don't think you could really talk for Appalachia, but Virginia, is that?
it's Appalachia goes through the very western tip of Virginia and covers the entirety of the state of West Virginia. Let me look up exactly where he's from, because that's one I didn't even think about. Oh, he's from Richmond, which is basically close to Appalachia.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
more the center of the state rather than the western part of the state, but yeah, he'd be familiar with all the folklore from that area if he allowed himself to be. But yeah.
We'll take that as a win then. We'll take that as a win for Stan Winston. Lance Henriksen, I looked up as well just to see, because this counts for absolutely nothing, of course, because I am a dirty limey. But I was convinced. I thought, in fact, let's get him up there. You found some lovely behind the scenes photos, and these to me just looked. They said authentic. He's got that sort of Walton Goggins look to him.
Yeah,
but he's from New York City, Norwegian heritage, with a bit of Finnish, and yeah, but born in New York City.
Yeah, but he has the working class man. I mean, he was functionally illiterate until his 30s when he had to learn to read phonetically to do auditions. That's why his earlier roles he seemed so stilted, but they also put him in roles that worked for the role. And
he's a good choice.
Got better from there.
Yeah, dude had a rough childhood. Just looking it up, it's foster care, beatings, oof, tough times.
Yeah, he went through a lot. He became very, very successful through B movies, and then he got into Aliens, Alien 3, and he got picked by. Why am my brain farting? He was picked specifically. The only person. The X-Files spinoff
Millennium, yeah.
He was specifically picked. There's only one person to play Frank Black, and that was Lance Henriksen.
No, it makes sense. He's just such a presence. Yeah. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, and I think he sells it. He brings a gravitas to the role that I think really helps. Really, really helps. This film hits you hard. So just on the off chance, by the way, 14 minutes in, in case anyone has not seen Pumpkinhead and wants to roughly follow what the heck we're talking about, even though, please watch this movie. Do watch this movie. Like, we'll give you the raw plot quickly, but like, watch it. It's about the details. What would be on the back of the VHS box, just so people can roughly follow along with what happens in this?
It opens with opens in the 50s with a family hiding out in the house, and there's a man being chased through the fields. He bangs on the door, please help me, please help me. And they're like, you've been marked. and he gets dragged off and killed by Pumpkinhead, and little Ed is looking through the window and sees it in silhouette of Pumpkinhead, the demon of vengeance, killing the guy who says he's not guilty of killing the girl who somebody declared vengeance on him. And then it moves on to Ed at his home taking care of his little son Billy, and this is the tenderest you will ever see Lance Henriksen in a movie, aside from some of the scenes in Millennium with his wife and daughter.
It's not what you expect from him, and he's fantastic.
Yeah. He's a gentle soul. He's taking care of his son. He lives in the backwoods. He runs a fruit stand and dry goods store out on the highway. He's takes his son with him to work, and their little dog Gypsy, an old mutt. They've opened up the store. And a bunch of high school kids or college kids come in. And it's basically they meet up with Ed and Billy, and then some of the kids from up in the holler come down with their grandpa. They meet up with them. They're throwing the ball. One of the college students, he's not a college student. He's a ex-con on probation for hurting somebody. And he causes problems.
He's trouble from the very start. Just, yeah.
And the grandfather tells Ed, "Oh, I need my feed." And Ed's like, "Oh, I left it up at the house." Ed leaves to go get the grain. And the college kids pull their motocross bikes off the trailer and go head off and start jumping around, and they accidentally kill Billy. Do you have the screenshot of Ed transforming from a grieving father to "I hate you, I'm going to kill you"?
No, I don't have that. The just when he gives, I'm sorry, I don't remember the chap's name, but it's this dude here that I'm circling.
Steve.
Yeah, they it's an odd little scene.
Stare.
Yeah, it's a proper fixes him in place. Like I think you aren't surprised by anything that happens here. Like, it's very obvious that little Billy's gonna get hit. It's still sold well. It still manages to be affecting. I had a little bit of a problem when Steve and Ed are sort of facing off, and Steve sort of, I don't know, he didn't behave in a very believable way for me. Like, I would imagine him panicking and doing a bit of like word vomit to try and like make it, ameliorate the situation, just sort of exculpate himself. Like, I would imagine him just going, "It wasn't our fault. It wasn't our fault. We tried. Just." But he doesn't really say anything.
Until he says it was an accident, and Ed turns around and fixes him with the death stare.
Yeah, it was a minor worry for me. I was also slightly distracted by the fact that the child actor kept blinking and moving, but then, and I was like, is he dead and that's a mistake, or is he not dead? And then they do confirm that he's not dead at that point. But I did find it a tiny bit distracting.
Yeah, but child actors, especially amateur ones, have a problem with holding still.
Yeah, you could forgive it. And ultimately, you know, as he was not dead at that point, it's fine. And my goodness, it doesn't stop him passing from actually being genuinely upsetting.
Yeah. And just Lance Henriksen, he's about the best of the actors on the set.
Mm.
And he just emotes
Mm.
the grief, the anger, the hatred, the gentleness.
Mm.
Everything comes across as sincere and real, and just he doesn't have to say much. He just has to look that way. He
Yeah,
just has to emote.
he is a brilliant masculine character. Like, he doesn't need to break down like you know, James Van Der Beek in Dawson's Creek.
Oh God.
Yeah, I know you could. I know you could just picture the face. Then he doesn't do that, and you still know that his world is just devastated. And it's such a good performance from him.
Yeah.
But after that, so what does he do? What does he do when his son has passed?
Well, the kids run up to the cabin and they're freaking out. Josh, the delinquent who hit the kid, who hit Billy with the motocross bike, he ends up in a fight with Mr. Cardigan. Uh, that's all I remember his name as.
I know it's hard to join them together, you know. Timu Sam Gamgee, let's say.
Yeah,
Sorry, it's just with that haircut. Timu
yeah.
Sam.
But they get into a fight. Mr. Cardigan gets knocked out, and the next time you see him, they're boarded up in a closet. Him and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then Ed grabs Billy, puts him in his truck, and heads up the hollow to where the kids and Grandpa live, asking for the old witch woman who has powers, and gets chewed out even after showing Grandpa Billy's body. And then Bunt, the eldest grandchild, who's a snot, offers to take him up to see Haggis, the witch woman.
Yeah. You know, I'm sorry to sabotage the film summary, but it just occurred to me now, and I wondered about your thoughts. Do you think it's very significant that it's the grandpa, and you're so specifically told that George Buckflower here, one of the classic character actors, usually a homeless guy, but today a slightly different role. Is it really significant that he's a grandpa? Because he's a grandpa talking to a father, and it's the next generation down who agrees to help. And it's, to me, it's almost like these levels of wisdom. Like, the grandpa knows best. He's seen it. He's got the experience. He's got the wisdom. Whereas that first generation, the grandson, is actually just, you know, it's still masculine. Like, he's full of piss and vinegar. He's like, yeah, I know
He
best.
wants
Trust
to
me.
know if the fairy tale of the poem he taunts his brother with is real.
Yeah,
I keep hearing about it. My grandfather's afraid of it. I want to know if it's real. I want to see it.
Yeah, he's got the ambition, but he doesn't have the wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, yeah, I don't know. It felt to me like there was something in that about just these levels of wisdom, or these stages that each of these characters have gone through.
Yeah. Well, I love the part where um, they're heading up to Razorback Ridge up the hollow where
Mm.
uh, Haggis, the witch woman, lives. And it's Bunt slams his hand on the roof of the pickup. This is where I get out.
Mm.
I told you only halfway. Why can't you take me the rest of the way up? That old woman scares the piss out of me. He gets out of the pickup and runs like hell back up the road.
Yeah, he kind of kicks the trouble off, and then it gets a bit real, and he's like, "No, I'm out." And
Yeah,
it's the dad has to see it through, like the full-grown man has to see it through,
yeah,
whereas the grandpa is like the one who could see it through, but he's got the wisdom to realize, no, you shouldn't. Um, that was also, I thought, a really good way of just impressing that Haggis is serious. It's ominous. You don't want to do it. Just building up the tension, making sure it matters, helping her place have an impact, as well as just making it look terrifying as well.
yeah, yeah. This is definitely on a sound stage, but it's going into Haggis's place is terrifying, even with
Mm,
just the red gel showing lamplight and firelight. But it's
mm,
her conversation with Ed about, I can't bring Billy back to life. I can't bring the child back to life. That's beyond my power.
mm,
What do you really want, Ed Hardy? Say
mm,
it. Just the way she does it. She knows what he wants, but she wants him to face it himself exactly what he wants to do.
mm,
And Ed starts beating the rafters and then finally comes out, I want revenge. I want that.
mm.
She just laughs at him.
Yep.
She
Yep.
tells him, what you need to do is go up to, um, go past Razorback Ridge into the old graveyard, um, pumpkin patch graveyard. And he's like, well, what do I dig up? You'll know when you get there. And when he gets there, there's an old tree stump that's grown over with grass. He gets
Mm.
up on top and finds a misshapen body under the loose
Yeah.
grass.
Well, it's a graveyard where things are meant to be sunk beneath the earth, and he finds this thing raised above like it's on a plinth. It's like, yeah, it's a pretty good sign. Pretty good
It's
sign.
an old, huge tree trunk, is what it
Mm,
is. And yeah, he gets there and he knows exactly where he has to go. And the
mm.
dramatic shot of him with the Michael Mann blue gels is just, I mean, it's effective, but it's a Michael Mann style dramatic lighting. And it's kind of like they could have lit that better. It could have
Yeah,
been more effective.
my take was they were trying to do day for night, um, but you can always tell because like as you said, the lighting isn't right, the shadow placement isn't right.
Well, that was definitely a sound stage.
Mm,
And that's Michael Mann lighting,
mm,
80s Michael Mann lighting. I mean, from the keep on up to certain parts of the dramatic scenes in the Miami Vice TV series. It's why he would use that. Well, I know why he used it. It's cheap.
Budget of 3.2. What you gonna do?
Yeah, but he digs up the body, brings it back. She casts the ritual. She cuts his hand open, drains the blood, drains some blood out of Billy's hand, boils it, pours it into the dead body's mouth, and Pumpkinhead springs out, and Ed Hardy just, he has convulsions and realizes that he's tied with the monster.
It's communicated very well. I also noticed they're making good use of this kind of perverse symbology that he's lost a kid and then he goes to the graveyard, and what he carries back is almost like a baby in swaddling, like he's literally cradling it in his arms,
and his blood brings Pumpkinhead to life.
Yeah, it's this grotesque inversion, but almost like mocking his loss, but a really great way of sort of showing that actually this is the opposite of what he wants. This will not get him what he wants, and the witch knows it from the very start.
Yeah.
It's got a wonderful Eurasian eagle owl, though.
Yeah. And then Pumpkinhead starts his hunt. He goes straight on a beeline for the kid's cabin. And Steve hears something. He goes out. Steve and his girlfriend were the two with a conscience. And Steve is the first one killed very horrifically.
Just tossed about, basically. Scooped up, tossed about. Brutal. I think there's a certain amount of a conscious echo of some of the kills in Alien. Particularly just like the bit of reach down and scoop a full-grown dude up like it's nothing.
Yeah.
But I just have to note here, I looked at the trivia because this place looked familiar. This is location, and it's the same cabin that was used in a Friday the 13th movie. So it's
which one?
Part 4. It was part 4 was the one they used. I thought, oh, okay, yeah, I can see that. I can see it. So not only does it kind of look like we have a cast from Friday the 13th, we literally get a set from there as well. I think this movie, I think it knows what it's doing. It's a clever little film. I chose this still just because I rather liked it. It's nice framing. It's a kind of image that really helps sell a movie. The thing that's designed to be iconic. Like I think it was partly designed with that in mind. There's another one later. Where have I got it?
Where the girl is rubbed down the window and then slammed through and impaled on the glass.
Oh, that was very nice. Like, I appreciated it, but I didn't think it was as iconic. Like, it was effective, but it was a bit more unnerving. Whereas I thought the monster sort of leering into the cupboard was like much more the kind of thing that you think, oh, that's a poster.
Yeah. I love the way the kills went when Pumpkinhead has a sick sense of humor.
Yeah. Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Mr. Cardigan's trying to start the motorcycle and it doesn't sound right, and it cuts to Pumpkinhead holding up the chain, just dangling it in front of him, and he's then hits Mr. Cardigan, which is just brilliant.
Yeah.
Or dragging them up in the tree and just dropping her on the rocks. That was funny and horrifying all at the same time.
Very much so. Also, Joel, I believe his name is, like the real a-hole, the one who was
the
drunk.
Kid.
I thought Billy was a kid. Joel is this
Joel's
guy.
the one who accidentally killed him.
Yeah, there we go. Joel. Yeah, so this guy here, like the real a-hole, the big problem maker, who manages to shoot Pumpkinhead, but then Pumpkinhead gets a gun off him. And I thought, is Pumpkinhead actually going to shoot him? He clearly knows how to work a gun. And then he just impales him.
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny, like very dark, sick funny.
Yeah. Well, it's... Let me go ahead and do this. Like I said before, this movie's based off of the poem Pumpkinhead, written by Ed Justin. Keep away from Pumpkinhead unless you're tired of living. His enemies are mostly dead. He's mean and unforgiving. Laugh at him and you're undone, but in some dreadful fashion, vengeance he considers fun and plans it with a passion. Time will not erase or blot a plot that he has brewing. It's when you think that he's forgot, he'll conjure your undoing. Bolted doors and windows barred, guard dogs prowling the yard, won't protect you in your bed. Nothing will from Pumpkinhead. He has a sick sense of humor, and he's just plotting out how he's going to kill you.
Justified by the poem. Like, he's clearly doing cat and mouse. You're not sure of it initially, but then, yeah, it does become very clear. He's messing with them. He's screwing with them. He's enjoying it. And he has a very sick sense of humor. Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, we're going to have to edit this out. I have to run upstairs real quick.
Yeah, no worries. I'll do a pause. So we're just talking about how Joel, the a-hole in chief, has met a very well-deserved end, and that leaves what are we calling them? Final Girl and Mr. Cardigan, right?
Yeah. They escape. That's about the point Mr. Cardigan tries to... they find Bunt. He agrees to help them. They get dragged over to an old burned down church. It's a church. You'll be somewhat protected. Oh God, he's here. And
it's interesting that that's Bunt's understanding, just instinctively, like, he won't like coming here.
And Pumpkinhead immediately subverts it by walking through the door and chases them out, and he proceeds to beat down the back wall with a handmade cross that's been hung there.
I think, like, symbolically, I think that's because, yeah, the Christian ethos is not in power at the moment, you know? Like, the Christian ideas will take precedent by the end of the film, but right now they are not. And therefore, yeah, Pumpkinhead's just going to come in and smash that place up.
Yeah. And then they start running, and Ed comes out of the woods and says, "Follow me. We've got to finish this." They go back to Ed's place. Mr. Cardigan is put through the ringer. He's not dead. He's severely cut up and broken, but he's not dead. Ed brings his brush killer flamethrower out of the garage. Bunt's confronted in the closet by Pumpkinhead and dragged out. He's not killed either. Because Ed shoots him. And when Ed's pulling the flamethrower out, the hose gets snagged and he trips and impales himself on a pitchfork. And Pumpkinhead staggers back and shows wounds where the pitchfork went into Ed. That's where Ed gets the idea that what happens to me happens to him.
Yeah, I mean, he's already at this point, he's regretted his choice. He's wishing he hadn't summoned Pumpkinhead. Let me just, I've got this looking a little weird. There we go, that's better. Yeah, he's regretting his choice. He's trying to make amends, but, for the average horror movie fan, at the moment, you probably are still thinking Pumpkinhead is, just a monster. Like, okay, it can take a shotgun blast, but if you keep blasting it, you'll probably take it down. You're probably thinking that, and it's only this scene that tells you, actually, no, there's a bit more to it than that.
Yeah. Final girl picks up the flamethrower and blasts Pumpkinhead twice. Each time Pumpkinhead comes through smiling at her like, that's not going to do anything. And Pumpkinhead's evolving more and more to look like Ed, a monstrous version of Ed.
Well, we had I mean, I think you're probably right. When I watched this, and at the same time, by the way, Ed is getting the monster's eyes. So I think you are almost certainly right. But when I watched this, I saw the witch's face. I saw Haggis's face here.
Well, I've looked at the behind the scenes stuff, and they cast Lance Henriksen's face and made it more monstrous for both Lance Henriksen and who was in the Pumpkinhead suit.
It was Tom Woodruff. It's one of the effects guys, actually.
Yeah.
Which is odd because you would kind of think let's get a massive version of him up. Let's get this up again so we can see how big he is. You would think for this kind of thing, it would be like, what's his name? Kevin Peter Hall, who is the Xenomorph and the Predator. But I think they've got the height mostly through use of basically stilts here.
That's stilts, you can tell.
You don't need Kevin Peter Hall, who's like 7'2", or the first guy to play the alien, who is this Nigerian called Balaji Badeo, who's literally an economics student having lunch in a pub, and a film producer saw him and was like, "You're crazy tall. Would you like to be in a movie?"
Well, when you've got a slightly more than average thin guy who built the suit around himself, they did a good job with the stilts, the digitigrade feet. That was brilliant. You can tell where the stilts are. You can tell that he had problems walking, but he was getting better throughout the movie, walking in them.
Oh, yeah. No, it looks very good. It looks very good indeed.
Yeah, I love if you can find it, the behind the screen, behind the scene shot of him cooling off, sitting in the director's chair.
I've got it right here. And thank you for finding it. Yeah, that is one of the effects guys putting himself through the ringer to do this. And the poor sod was in that for like 8 hours at a time.
And 2 or 3 hours to get put in, and an hour and a half to be brought out of it. Yeah, it's just, that would be a nightmare.
It's a tough life. It's a very tough life. So kudos to him. Sorry. So as you say, the flamethrower, it do nothing.
Yeah, Pumpkinhead basically laughs at her, and then Ed gets shot. Pumpkinhead staggers around. They think he's dead, and then Bunt gets picked up, but Ed's escaped to his pickup truck, pulls out a revolver, shoots himself in the head, not effectively, but Pumpkinhead drops. They kick him, and then Ed hauls himself out of the pickup, drops the revolver, and Final Girl picks it up, and Ed's like, "Kill me. It's the only way to end this. Kill me." And she shoots him, and Pumpkinhead drops again and bursts into flame. And the next scene is Haggis, the witch woman, carrying Ed's body. You can tell because it has Billy's little necklace attached to it, burying him back in the pumpkin graveyard. And credits roll. But the whole thing is one scene we missed is when Ed goes back to Haggis and says, "How can I end this? What's going on? Did you think vengeance would be clean? Did you think it would be painless? No, you've got to go through with it and you'll feel everything. Vengeance is..." And then Ed condemns her to hell, and it's, "I'm already damned, boy."
Yeah, she's fantastic, and an underrated example of amazing effects work. Like the actress is just coated in makeup, but you don't necessarily think of her as in special effects because it's done so well.
Yeah. Well, I was saying behind the scenes that the more I watch this, the more I realize I'm more scared of Haggis than I am of Pumpkinhead.
Yes.
I mean, she's just creepy and evil.
She knows what she's doing as well. Like, she fuels this. And she's very much like a classic devil mode. You know, she's there with temptation. She gets people to sign their own death warrants. She keeps her hands relatively clean, though, and just lets people wreck their own lives. She is the big evil, really.
Yeah. But yeah, this is, the more I watch it, the more I love it, because you can always see something more in the storytelling. However amateurish the writing is, they did try to bring out big themes and small themes. Especially vengeance is bad, yo.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of, like, if it's a vengeance story, there's kind of only one story you're going to tell, but that's fine because it's so tied into us that we need that story over and over again.
Well, so many of the 70s and 80s vengeance picks, they walk away not necessarily happy, but satisfied. This one, vengeance eats you. Vengeance destroys you in the worst possible way.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then he just effectively ends up as a plaything. And you really, you hope he gets to rest in peace, that no one else takes up the offer.
Yeah.
Because it really nails it down that basically, yeah, your life is over and you do just become a tool for vengeance. But it's a very good point that Haggis point out. Like, you might say, I mean, this is so relevant to you know, like us, me personally, right? How many times have you seen a story of some awful thing and you're like, right, I would love something very terrible to happen to that person? And it's easily said, but this film kind of makes a point like, no, if you had to do it, if you had to experience enacting it, like, you wouldn't want to be sadistic. Being that sadistic and inflicting that much pain, that is not good for you. It's a very mature point in this film.
Yeah, and like I said, the more I watch it, the more I appreciate the messaging all the way through it. and appreciate the pathos that Lance Henriksen brings, and just it's they portray them as hillbillies, but they don't portray them as evil. They portray them as, don't do this. This is bad. This is evil. We're not going to have any part of it. Yes, we can't help you because we'll get mauled ourselves, but they do their best to dissuade Ed from going through with it.
Yeah.
And they know what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one aspect. Like, before discussing that, I thought it's so great that Ed, like, initially he's hot for the vengeance and then starts regretting. He instantly, like, he tries to numb himself with alcohol. And then his kid literally shows up as, like, his conscience saying, "Daddy, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
And he realizes, no, this is wrong. This is wrong. So it's, yeah,
He
so
does
well
his
done.
face heel turn, and then he has a hallucination of his kid and does the heel face turn.
Yeah, he goes back. Yeah, and he gets over it. You know, he's got his learning, which ultimately, yeah, he does. He has to forgive. He has to kill his vengeance, and it's a great cost to him. But the other strand you talked about is the hill. These aren't the hillbillies from Deliverance.
No.
Like, these are, I think, compassionate portrayals. To my mind, it felt authentic. Again, I'm in England. I don't have a clue, but it felt like it was sympathetic and like, actually, yeah, they are isolated. They are extremely poor. They do not have lots of luxury, but they aren't troglodytes. They're people with a great,
folk just trying to get by.
totally. That level of like practicality. I loved weird little details, just like, oh, I forgot the feed. Okay, I'll drop it round. It's like, this tells you stuff like there is a level of connection and community.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just some corporate transaction. It's like, oh, I know where you live. I owe it to you. I will drop it round to you. I liked it. Is that portrayal of that life? To me, it felt real.
Yeah. Well, they tried to do the best they could in the hills of California, being Appalachia, but it's still, they used the stereotype, but they turned the Hollywood stereotype on its head and made them human, not just inbred mutants that are out to kill you.
Yeah, not unsympathetic as well. Like, they had their reason. They really had their reasons for behaving how they behave, and they were compassionate where they could be, but also that it was a line that was repeated a few times about get away from me and my kin, which is really good. They aren't heartless, but in this time of crisis, they're thinking of their responsibility, which is to their family. Their first responsibility is to their family, and they're honoring that.
Oh, and they want nothing to do with the demon.
Yeah, damn right. It's, to my mind, it's a sympathetic portrayal. It's a solution, and it's a film that I think is consciously aware that these type of people are usually portrayed awfully. So you get like that one line where Lance Henriksen is asked who killed Billy, and he's like, city folk. I loved that. I mean, what did you think of that line? What was that trying to do? Was that?
It's the division between us and them. That's the simplest. It's, they are not us. They're not. They are outsiders, and they've done wrong.
Yeah,
they don't follow our ways, and they've
very
done wrong.
Sorry, I cut over you there, but yeah, it's very deliberately broad brush. It's not college kids from nearby city. It's just city folk. Not from round here. Don't need more details. And you're just so consciously on their side, and it's so interesting to be on that side, instead of being with, the city folk with their money.
Mm-hmm.
Like you feel how crass they are when they're in the store, like this lovely store, and they rock up, and one of them makes a joke about Billy's glasses being like Coke bottles. I was like, "Oh, you a-holes."
That's Joel. He's an asshole throughout the
Mm,
entire thing until he realizes exactly what he's done
mm,
after Steve is killed. And then it's like, oh God, what have I gotten us into?
mm.
And then
Yeah, yeah.
he pays the price.
Oh yes. And he he's got a pretty grim end, being sort of impaled and then hoisted up. But
Mm-hmm.
I know the film may be showing, and this might sound weird to say, a little bit of restraint. Like, I think a film made now would probably do that, and then also have like the head ripped off or something. There'd be some kind
Yeah.
of CGI effect there, but it's relatively restrained here, effective
He just had
but
his neck,
restrained.
he got impaled, dropped on the ground,
Mm,
and then had his neck broken.
mm, yeah.
It wasn't ripped off. There wasn't a whole lot of, well, there was blood to it,
Oh,
but
of course, yeah.
it's just the crack.
Mm. And he
And,
sees this last thing he sees. Ugh.
mm-hmm.
Oof.
But yeah, it's the acting wasn't great, but it holds up well. The messaging holds up well, and
Mm.
the Pumpkinhead costume design is brilliant.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's the fact it's more than a monster. It's a demon with a purpose and a demon with a message, and that
And
you
a
only
demon
pick
with
that
a
up
sense of
later.
humor.
Mm. I mean, and it's a nice balance. It's a risky one because around this time where were we in Elm Street? We were, I think, 7 in. I think we probably were on. Sorry, no, we're on Friday the 13th, 7, I believe.
Nightmare, I believe we're on 4. This is just
Mm.
after Dream Warriors was 80. Let's
87, I think, probably.
86 or 87.
Like, they weren't messing around. Once Elm Street came out, they were rushing
87.
around.
Yeah.
Hey. So, I mean, I say that just for like and who even knows for the Leprechaun series, but where your killer has a sense of humor, they are usually at this point kind of communicating to the audience, don't take this seriously, this is a joke. Especially Freddy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's actively wisecracking. Him and the leprechaun are wisecracking. Chucky is wisecracking, or cracking wise, as I believe you say.
Yeah, but
M-
Pumpkinhead is just pure malicious humor. It's
yeah,
and
it
it's
doesn't break the
subtle. It's
fourth
not in
wall.
your face.
No, I think the closest you get is the moment where you think you might shoot a gun, but again, wisely, Stan Winston, veteran at this point, keeps you on the right side of serious.
Yeah.
So, very important lesson around this time. It's only 2 years, and Jason is taking Manhattan and just punching the black boxer kid's head clean off.
Yeah, this one is it's subtle in its humor. It's
Yes.
and the humor is more horrifying for the demon has a sense of humor, and it horrifies you to realize that.
Absolutely. Oh, it's so well judged. It really is well judged. I've got to ask, have you seen any of the sequels to it? I have not.
I've seen the second one. The two sci-fi ones I've kind of avoided because Blood Wings was not great. It's not as bad as Highlander 2, but it's pretty bad.
It's pretty rough if you got to bring up Highlander 2 The Quickening to be a
Highlander
comparison
2, there
point.
should have been only one.
Oh goodness. Yes, never a truer word. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but no, fair enough. I have the feeling like this is a kind of movie that is meant to be a one-off gem.
Yeah.
This is not meant to launch a franchise.
Well, they went with it in two different comic series. I haven't watched the two Sci-Fi Channel specials. If you want to, it is on Tubi TV, as far as I know. I haven't looked it up in a while, but all four of them were there. But I just haven't had the time or the guts to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I feel this is a wonderful one and done. And I suppose one other thing I wanted to get in this conversation is we spent a fair amount of time this year looking at both classic folk horror arising from England and sort of neo-folk horror. So after the sort of late 60s, 70s initial lot, there's a big old lull, and then in the mid 2010s, no, around there, so mid 20s to 2010s, we suddenly get a whole new range of folk horrors, and we were asking, is this really the same thing? Can they be counted as the same subgenre? And there was a question.
This is the American folk horror
Yeah, that's where I was going to ask you.
genre. It's between American folk horror and Southern Gothic, and this is definitely folk horror. I mean, it's based off of a poem that's basically a modern nursery rhyme. It's one of those this feels like Appalachia, even though it was done in California, but that can be excused. It's in line with Deliverance. It's in line with some of American Horror Story. It's in line with Angel Heart, which is more of a Southern Gothic noir with voodoo and Satanism.
But it's got that key element of the idea of an area of the country that is unreconstructed, has not been fully tamed by modernity, and city folk, the modern forward-thinking people coming afoul of that, basically, is that has to be in every folk horror. It's got to be some kind of message of the old ways are alive, and you need to respect them or it will not end well for you.
Yeah. The stereotype of the witch woman up the hollow. The rustic family. The protagonist who's a simple man but has to go on a journey, and boy does Ed go on a journey.
Absolutely.
It's it follows up with that. If you want more folk horror, some are folk horror, some are lighthearted. Look up Manly Wade Wellman. He
Manly
has,
Wade Wellman.
yeah, he's an author from the mid 20th century who did a lot. David Drake swore by him. Several other people did. Major sci-fi and fantasy authors absolutely loved him just for the folk aspect, whether it be comedic or whether it be folk horror. He's definitely worth a look.
Yeah, and this could slot alongside something like The Witch by Robert Eggers. You know, again, it doesn't have your external protagonist, but it still has the idea of American untamed wilderness and what lies beyond, and needing to take it seriously. So I think that there's a real case, yeah, that this is the American folk horror. I'm not going to fight hard on that at all because I believe it too. Agreed. I think it's nice to see it in that way. Not a slasher flick, not just a monster flick. No, there's something quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And what an amazing directorial debut.
Oh yeah, Stan Winston, his passion project, it really showed through. It has all the flaws of a first time director, but he knew what he was trying to express, and his team did brilliantly with the FX. It's the lighting, not so much.
Yeah, we'll let that go. You found a lovely photo of him with the effects crew. I do struggle to recognize faces, but I believe this is our guy, right, with the red Coke hat. That's our boy Stan Winston. I'm pretty certain. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain that's our guy. Yeah, and the reports were that he was a joy to work with as a director, kept a happy set.
Oh yeah,
So
all the behind scenes photos that I found, everybody's smiling about it. They must have had a blast with this.
I can believe it. He's no James Cameron.
No.
Or maybe he learned from working with James Cameron quite a lot. Like,
yeah,
we aren't going to do it that way. Yeah. All right. Brilliant. Well, was there anything else you had on Pumpkinhead before we wrap up?
No, I can go straight into my scoring.
Oh, please do. Please
Give me
do.
a second here.
Yeah, rock on. God, I love the shot.
It's for a debut of a B movie. It's the writing isn't great. The acting is Lance Henriksen does really well. It shows gentleness, it shows anger, it shows fear. Lance is a master of his craft, even early in his career. But this, like I said, the more I watch this, the more I see, and it gets. Some things don't hold up, but most of it does. The FX hold up. The story, the more you look into it, the more meaningful it gets. I give it 10 burgers, lots of ketchup, and for an 80s slasher, absolutely no pickles, which is surprising.
That's true. Like, the closest you get is seeing a little bit of tummy on Joel's girlfriend. That's it. It's restrained. It's very restrained. I think 10 is very understandable. I wonder what Yiz would give this. I would imagine a high score.
Yeah.
But for me, I would give this a high score as well. This is something that if you expect it to just be a slasher, you might be disappointed. But there is much more going on here. This, I think, all the remarks you made about sort of maybe variable writing quality stand up, variable lighting quality certainly stand up. But where this film works, it works very well. And the weaker elements, say lack of characterization in the city folk, I can forgive. It's moving along incredibly briskly. There's about 79 minutes of story here. I did time it and find that we had 3 minutes of credits at the start. So
yeah,
I got a little twitchy at that. But
it's
PD.
it's the typical we don't think this is going to do well, so we're going to tell you exactly who's in it, so it'll keep you in your seat.
Yeah, and maybe a little padding as well. A little, we'll leave you time to get into your seats, all that business. So yeah, it's very lean. It doesn't drag it out. It tells its story well, and it tells a deeper story than you would expect. All of it really sold by a wonderful bit of pathos in Lance Henriksen's performance. So it's a winner. I don't know if I'd quite go to 10, but I wouldn't fight far of that. Maybe about a 9.5. We've got very good ketchup here, no inappropriate pickles, and a slightly tear-stained bun. So this is a winner. This is an absolute winner. It's great to cover it, and I think, well, this was going to get smuggled in one way or another. We will cover American folk horror arc at some point, and we'll have to reference it rather than just re-review it. But we got this covered, and I'm so glad we did.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting 2 years to have this covered, just because it is my favorite horror, much like Candyman is your favorite. This has been my favorite for a while.
Yeah, it's a winner. I can see why. I can really see why. This one will stick with you. It's a gem. All right. Well, folks, thank you for watching Murgoot. Thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, I don't know exactly which order I'll put these out in, but you'll be doing sort of a double appearance in Halloween week, and I'm hoping people will see these. Maybe they get a bit of inspiration for what they might want to watch on Halloween night, or maybe they're just revisiting a bit of a classic. And sometimes it's just nice to hear people talk about a film you already love. Maybe pick out a detail or two, or you didn't see, or present it in a way you haven't seen before. So I hope we did something like that for you all and you enjoyed it. Strong recommendations for both of us for Pumpkinhead. It's a winner. And yeah, so check out the others in the Halloween specials, and I hope it helps you plan your Halloween night. All right. Thanks, y'all. Cheers.
Hashtag never mind.
Hashtag shell gang.